Day 6 began with a leaderboard shock. Yesterday's second-place result was erased. MTech then earned it back, pushed to 4-1, and crashed. Avidrone's own 4-1 shot ended in fire. DefendTechs aimed beyond 6-1 and lost a propeller. The rest of Saturday brought first flights, burning wrecks, and 2 last-minute endings at once. Here is every meaningful day, 6, result without the 10-hour broadcast. The morning began with Mtech'S Day 5 scored disallowed after overnight review. Its tracker finished outside the new 5-foot radius landing circle. Recalibrated altitude data also put the aircraft at 211 feet above the 200-foot ceiling. That removed Mech from second place before the first window began. MTech answered with a conservative 3.64 scoring run. It completed the loaded 4 miles, dropped the payload, finished the unloaded mile, and landed manually inside the circle. Review confirmed the new run, putting Mtech right back into second. H squared was already pushing 3.35 when its aircraft lost control, smoked, and came down after only 0.32 nautical miles. Its earlier to 0.96 remained official. Avidrone first lifted 4.16 times its vehicle weight, but the automatic release dropped the payload almost immediately. The leader returned at 4.02 and lost the tail rotor. The aircraft spun in, burned, and left Avidrone's existing 3.84 untouched. MTech then tried for 0.02, made 1.32 nautical miles, and sheared a motor mount off the arm. DefendTechs had an 18.4-pound vehicle, so the 112-pound minimum forced a staggering 6.11 ratio. It reached the altitude block. Then a composite propeller delaminated and the aircraft dropped. 3 teams had attacked the full prize threshold, and all 3 were rebuilding for Sunday. The 11 o'clock window shifted from scores to survival. Aptos Aero's compact machine developed the same violent tail shimmy twice and came back down without a completed check. Skyweaver's 2-tethered fixed-wing aircraft accelerated unevenly, caught the grass, and flipped before takeoff. Somewhat engineering flipped almost immediately. Then its damaged battery ignited. The aircraft burned into a total loss while the fire crew held the range safe. A late half-weight check did get airborne, although the suspended load swung under it. In overtime, solo builder John Brendel finally lifted Protocarbon's giant helicopter for its first free flight. It missed the pad, but a stable test and safe recovery made 5 seconds in the air a real win. At 2 o'clock, MacGyver loaded for a projected 3.63 that could have taken third. Repeated hovers exposed growing oscillation, so the team landed instead of starting the course. Iowa State's Skylift flipped on takeoff and damaged its nose. Dronesmith took the opposite approach and flew the full 5-mile route without scoring. Wait to validate navigation. Stanford Online High School briefly lifted its carbon fiber machine, overcorrected, and rolled it onto the grass. Atlas showed its 32-motor aircraft, while Rock Solid's parafoil and D Materials' inflatable frame never became scoring runs. Near the deadline, Burl Aerospace flew its rebuilt stealth wing design with a long suspended tracker. The weight swung and the wing wandered, but the test stayed airborne. The 4 o'clock window belonged to unfinished machines. Raging Cajuns reached a steady hover before rotor harmonics shook the center joint loose and folded the aircraft. Insky finally started its gasoline system, lifted, entered a pilot-induced oscillation, and crashed beside the pad. Skyweaver spent most of the window aligning its 2 aircraft and center cable. The pair finally accelerated together and got airborne for the first time. Altitude control lasted only seconds before a bouncing hard landing. Energetic Flying Nuisance and the repaired Stanford team kept working without another launch. Spitfire tested only half of its jet-powered system and never reached the flight line as a complete aircraft. The 6 o'clock window started with Protocarbon flying again and bouncing through another hard landing. Silift returned with its nose patched and a lucky charm attached. The Iowa State team completed a short recovery hop, proving the aircraft could still fly. Sherman Aeronautics first managed a 20-second hop that ended in a tumble. After nearly the entire window fixing GPS and calibration problems, its two linked fixed-wing aircraft launched again. They stayed up for 5.5 minutes, carried only the tracker, landed it inside the red circle, and celebrated with a sunset photo. At the same moment, Max Waits was still airborne in another lane. One motor tore free, pulled off a second motor, and sent the frame tumbling down in the final minutes. Day 6 ended with Avidrone first at 3.84, Mech second at 3.64, and Xtreme third at 3.31. H² held 2.96, with MacGyver at 2.51. Only Mech changed the board. Nobody completed 4-1. Sunday would decide whether the damaged contenders could rebuild for one last shot. That is Day 6. 1 restored score, 3 full prize crashes, and a field still refusing to quit. The official broadcasts are linked below.